Hey, what's up? This Mighty right here. We from the Plugg magazine. We got an exclusive interview tonight. So got a little delay because we had a little bit of the technical difficulties earlier, but we here now. We got Loke G in the house right now. So say what's up.
What's up? What's up? Homie for Loke G. Back to the brown table. We are here live.
Yeah. So tell me, where you from?
Texas. I'm from
Texas.
Texas. Yes.
Okay. What part of
I
Texas?
was born in Houston, and I
Hmm.
was raised in the Valley. And then once I graduated high school, I graduated from San Marcos High School. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Um, and then stayed in San Antonio for about 10, 11 years. And recently, about 6 years ago, I moved back home to Houston. So I'm here based out of Houston, Texas.
Oh, okay. So okay, I've never been to Texas, but I plan on moving to San Antonio at some point. So
Okay.
yeah. So what do you what do you think? Houston or San Antonio?
Well, San Antonio's like my second home. I have a lot of family there. I
Okay.
love it. It's very cultural. The food is delicious. It's a chill type of city,
Hmm.
but the markets for like business, there's not a lot of money out there. Houston is more of
Okay.
a hub. There's money, but like for regular people, Houston has a bigger market. It's more diversity. There's
Okay.
we have a port, we have refineries. We're an actual hub for like other countries to come in. People, we have big, enormous city
Okay.
sections. A lot of diversity, like I said, and San Anto is more like raza, more
Hmm.
cultural, more kind of close to like the valley. I mentioned earlier the
Hmm.
valley.
Yeah.
From Laredo down to Brownsville is like a whole different region that's called South Texas,
Hmm.
and it's pretty much a lot of raza. Like everything is more in Spanish, and
Hmm.
it's a different culture down there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's your nationality?
I am Chicano. My my parents were from Mexico, so I'm first generation American.
Okay. What part of
And
Mexico?
my dad is from Morelos, like Emiliano Zapata, and my
Okay.
mom's from the Norte, Tamaulipas,
Tamaulipas.
Pancho
Okay.
Villa.
Pancho
Yeah.
Villa. I'm Chicana too, right? Because I'm first generation, too.
Yeah.
And my parents, my family's from Oaxaca, Mexico. So we're like down
Okay.
south Mexico. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're like
Yeah.
tail end of Mexico. So,
Yeah.
but it's okay. So you both your parents being immigrants. How was it growing up here in the United States? Because I know me growing up, like my parents didn't know the language. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know like the customs that they do here. So sometimes I would go to school and you know what I'm saying. What everybody else is doing at school, we don't do that at home. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Right.
or we needed help with homework. We're like, oh, they don't understand, they can't help. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
how was it challenging to you growing up in an immigrant home?
Well, we were like a gypsy family. We would move from place to place to place,
Hmm.
and our childhood, we met a lot of people. For some reason, we or another, we would always end up leaving or going somewhere. I never went to the same school all the
Hmm.
way up until I was like in fifth grade, and
Hmm.
then we kind of settled in this small town in South Texas, where ended up calling my hometown because I met a lot of my lifelong friends there. And shout out to Zapata, Texas. But we were my upbringing. I always felt like an old soul. Like um, there was a bunch going on and stuff, but I always felt at ease, happy. I come from a happy home where
Okay.
my mom showed us love, and my dad taught us how to work.
Hmm.
So um, and it was a bunch of us. My sisters were always there. I ended up moving out when I was about 15, and
Okay.
I moved in with one of my sisters in San Marcos, Texas. That's how I ended up out there for high school to graduate.
Okay.
So I was pretty much ready to make it happen at a very young age, and
Yeah.
so I've been working ever since.
Okay. What
I'm
was your first?
35 now, so
You're 35 now. You look younger than 35. People tell you that all
oh
the
well,
time.
thank you.
So I
Well,
got
thank
I
you.
got I gotta ask for the ladies. I ask everybody this: Are you single? Are you married? Is it complicated, or what's the word?
No, I'm all the way taken.
He said I'm all the way to. What does
I
that
got
mean?
kids. I got the ranch, the kids. I gotta take care
Okay.
of all these fools. I gotta make sure I give them a
Yeah.
good example of what it is to be a man and show
Good. Yeah.
respect. So I don't mess around with none of that. I'm me.
Hmm.
Like I have friends everywhere, but I'm all the
Hmm.
way taken. So it's
Yeah.
respect 1st.
Agreed. Shout out to your wife. That's why it's the first time that somebody tells me like that. I'm all the way taken. You know what I'm saying? So that's a new one right
Yeah,
there. So.
yeah.
Okay, so tell me, what are important qualities to you in a woman?
Well, I have kids, so my kids prioritize over everything.
Hmm.
So before anything else, I'm a father. I take care of the kids. So if she could, be eye to eye with me with the respect and with the kids to make sure we give them good examples of what it
Hmm.
is to be an appropriate adult. And we all make mistakes, but we're young, and so we try to teach not only from our own experiences, but we try to utilize other people's experiences too, and
Right.
just try to focus. We try to fuck their lives up, and then we
Hmm.
fail at that too, so we just gotta love them.
Yeah. So tell me, so what first got you into music?
I've been into music since I can remember. My first words were like rhyming and stuff. Even when I was a kid, I would just say the same word over and over, like if I was singing it. When I was about fifth or fourth grade, my cousins had a Tejano band with my uncle. He would manage it. So they
Okay.
were playing at gigs, and they went on Johnny Canales. They were like in the music business. So
Yeah, I remember Jenny
I would
Canales. That's back in the day. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like they were in the music business, so I was fortunate enough to be a part of it at a very young age. I would tag
Hmm.
along with one of my cousins and just be a roadie and install the equipment, wire up the
Hmm.
microphones, testing, do all the
Yeah.
everything, the life of a musician because we
Yeah.
were on the road and we
Hmm.
stayed at hotels and we'd set up for gigs and we'd stay up all night playing. So like that life of a musician was already instilled in me at a very young age, and it was
Hmm.
something that I liked. I was
Yeah.
passionate about it. So whenever I started being able to express myself, my genre of music was more hip hop.
Hmm.
And right around seventh grade, I we moved again. We moved from that little small town back to the city because some way or another, my dad would go look for work, and then we just along for the ride. So
Hmm.
we came back to the city. We moved to San Antonio on the south side, and shout out to Somerset, the Oak Town, Royal Oaks. I had some bunch of homies there. We made, of course, new friends again, and there was two particular guys in the hood that would rap.
Hmm.
And the first time I heard them, I thought that they were just like rapping some song that they knew or something. But
Yeah.
when I heard that they were speaking about true events and things that had just happened, it like blew my mind. And I was like,
Hmm.
wait, what did he just say? And they're like, oh, well, we're freestyling. That's when I was introduced to what it was to freestyle. But that same year, I was also introduced to like a lot of other hip hop things like the graffiti art, the tagging, um, bunch of artwork. Like we were artists. Me and my brother. I have my older brother named Peanut.
Yeah.
He was a big influence too because I was constantly there trying to hang out with him and stuff. He's only 2 years older than me, so whatever
Okay.
he was getting into is what I was kind of forced to be into because you know how your moms are like, hey, take your brother.
Yeah.
You
Right.
can't go unless you take your
Right.
brother.
That is
That's
true.
kind of how it
Hmm.
always was.
Yeah.
So it's all
So
good.
so you know how to freestyle? What?
I freestyle for fun. This is what I tell people when they ask me. Like, I freestyle every single time that I write music on a piece of
Hmm.
paper,
Yeah.
but I freestyle on a piece of paper. So that's kind of my art form. That's my
Hmm.
craft. Like, that's the way I like to do it because
Okay.
I can sit in a studio and listen to the beat and I never come up with nothing. But if
Mm-hmm.
I have something in my mind and I need to get it out, it don't matter what beat you put on. I'm gonna make it fit and sound the way I'm gonna make it happen. So
Yeah.
it's like that's the way my mind works, a little different.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I also can force myself with the skill to write something like when you
Yeah.
write an essay in college or whatever,
Mm-hmm. Right.
But that's not when I feel it is when I enjoy it the most.
Okay. Yeah. That's probably when you put it down on paper and you don't have it down and everything. So
Something
what?
about the pen and the paper makes it go down a lot easier with the
Yeah.
actual project at the end. That's how
Yeah.
that's my style. But I do freestyle for fun with my friends, and
Mm-hmm.
we when we're having fun, nothing
Yeah.
serious.
Right. So, when was your turning point when you actually took music a little like serious and you started recording?
Okay, so that's cool. I graduated in '04. In 2000, I moved on to San Marcos. When I
Mm-hmm.
moved to San Marcos, I made a bunch of new friends again,
Mm-hmm.
and one of my buddies named James Alvarado, he was already recording,
Okay.
and we went to go. I went to a open mic at the skating rink. Everybody on my gente in San Marcos, they know that the skating rink is where we used to have all the open mics. We
Mm-hmm.
used to go, so I went over there, and that's how I met this guy. They took me to a little studio in Redwood,
Mm-hmm.
and we sat down and recorded. That was the first experience I ever had in a studio with Pro
Okay.
Tools and a mic and everything. It was my ninth grade year out there in
Mm-hmm.
San Marcos. So
Okay.
after that, I started, of course, meeting more people, rapping, freestyle. We used to do in the school. We used to do the Pass the Flow, and
Mm-hmm.
James and a couple other people, David, TikTok. There's a couple of other rappers that I met in that circle, and there was people that would beatbox. So in lunch, people would be beatboxing, and we'd be passing the freestyle around. Where you fall
Mm-hmm.
off, somebody else picks it up.
Yeah.
So I got real into the culture of the music with that scene. And at the same exact time, my buddies out there in South Texas were putting together a record label.
Mm-hmm.
So it just happened at the same exact time. So one time that I got in contact with him, he mentioned that he had a record label up, and I did like a rap over the phone. And after that, he's like, "You're on, bro. You're in. Like, you're part of
Mm-hmm.
the crew." So I
Okay.
signed to Pro Records back in somewhere around 2003, 2004. So at that moment, I figured I was going to treat it as a profession, as a career, and try
Mm-hmm.
to shoot for longevity and go for the long run.
Okay. So, how many albums or mixtapes do you have out?
I started releasing music. I just mentioned that we were signing back in '04. I started releasing music professionally in 2017.
Okay.
So took that long to drop music, but
Yeah.
so far I've just released nothing but singles. I do
Okay.
have a mixtape that's out. We released the mixtape in '07, but then I re-released it again in 2017 on Dat Piff.
Okay.
The Checkmate mixtape. It's free. You should go
Mhm.
download it.
Yeah.
Um, and we have, I think, somewhere close to like 11 singles. We've just been releasing singles
Hmm.
because we have a ton of music. We have
Hmm.
crazy amounts of music. But back in those days, we were able to witness how the music industry was changing because
Hmm.
we used to press up CDs like physical copies
Hmm.
and then make money, by
Yeah.
ourselves, like we're selling paletas or whatever. And
Paletas.
yeah, so we got to the point where nobody even has a CD player anymore. And we're like,
Yeah.
what do we do now? So when I moved to Houston, I signed with a company for CO supervision. And they helped me administer all the legalities and everything that I need to get
Hmm.
straight. And I learned a lot. That's why I offer now assistance to any like whatever
Hmm.
underground rappers that need
Hmm.
help. I can help them with the legal and everything that they need in order to be actually working in this industry. Because,
Yeah.
like I mentioned earlier, I have experience in the Tejano where it
Hmm.
was like nobody's messing around, and
Hmm.
then I jump in the rap game and everybody wants to burn you, basically.
Whole day and night, huh?
Crazy. It's like a pirate ship out here.
Hmm.
Cutthroat.
Yeah. So okay, so who have you collaborated with on some of your songs?
I've collaborated with a lot of artists. Some of the release songs that I have include Lucky Luciano
Hmm.
before he went full Christian, because now you can't even get anything from him that's not
Hmm.
full Christian.
Okay.
Um, Rashid from the Dope House.
Okay.
That's one of my favorite rappers of all time.
Okay.
Uh, Big Gemini, he came to my house. On my channel, I have a story of how I tell the full story of how he came to the house.
Okay. Well, I'll have to
Um,
check that one out.
yeah, I
You
say the
got it
full
on
story,
YouTube?
true story. Yes, on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And I've collaborated with. I did a lot of work projects with Pancho V, the Salty Water Records. He was actually exclusively producing me for a little bit.
Okay.
Um, I've worked with Ice from the Four Corner Hustlers. We have a track coming up.
Okay.
I've collaborated with, like I said, many artists. Some of a bunch of the some of my favorite features are artists that you haven't even heard of yet. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But
Okay.
I have some track. I have a track with Lil Flip, GT Garza. I have a couple of different tracks of people I've worked with.
Are there anybody you would want to collaborate with that you haven't yet?
Yes, and if he's listening or he ever listens to
We're gonna
this,
tag him. Tag him.
he gonna tell you that we need a song together, bruh. Have you ever heard of a Houston rapper named Aztec from the Wolfpack?
No.
Well, you need
Yes.
to.
Okay. I'm gonna
You need,
ask.
you
I'm
need to
gonna
know who this is, okay?
ask.
He's one of my favorite all-time artists. He's not rapping anymore, but he needs to. He needs to come do one last track with your boy. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
there you go. We gotta tag him. So, okay, in your opinion, who are the top three artists in the game right now?
Damn, in the game, I can't tell you the game because I don't study it. I just study my own craft. But I can tell you my favorite artists
Right, right.
who are like the top tier that I would never be able to challenge. I'll tell you
Just
that.
your in your opinion, your top three.
My opinion are very underrated rappers, and I'll tell you who I listen to mostly. There's a lot more artists that I love and I listen to, but the
Hmm.
top three artists that I listen to that are like my favorite is Tupac,
Me too.
Chamillionaire,
Mhm.
and K Reno.
Okay. Yeah, Tupac's my number one,
Because
so but I still be jamming out to Tupac.
yeah, it's because he speaks what I think. So when
Hmm.
somebody speaks what you think, you just have to love them.
Right. So, do you know of any female artists?
Female artists that I like, or female artists that I know that works on music, or
Yeah, any I guess maybe any female local artist that you know is doing her thing. She's out there, making music, dropping music videos, but you know what I'm saying?
no comment.
No comment. Do you plan on doing any collabs in the future with a female artist?
Only if she's on my level with the respect yourself type of message, and try
Hmm.
to bring some growth into our people, because I don't see myself. I just dropped a song. I don't want to talk shit, but I'm gonna anyways. I just
Hmm.
dropped a song called Free Codes, and pretty much was for the club,
Hmm.
but I still said my 2 cents in there, like,
Yeah.
get away from me.
So, what are you trying to accomplish with your music?
I'm trying to leave a legacy, something that we could be proud of. I'm trying to inspire my little brother, Free Brickavelli, Free AK,
Right.
um, with the movement, with the music, because really I do this for me. Like, I rap because I want to expel the rap out of my body, but
Hmm.
the reason I do it with a career and try to enforce it and try to
Hmm.
put effort into it is because my little brother and I, we do this together like a sport. There's a couple things we do together, and rap is one of the things we do together. And he was incarcerated about 5 6 years ago. They gave him 17 years on his first offense,
Yeah.
and he was in college, and he was scheduled to go to the Olympics for Team America,
Wow.
of course. And they didn't take they had no witnesses. It was a
Yeah.
disaster. I'm actually working on a documentary about it, so stay
Okay.
tuned for that
Yeah.
because I have Lil Young. I forgot to shout out my boy Lil Young, Milton Bradley.
Mhm.
Uh, he, of course, he's working a bunch of projects and stuff, but I did speak to him about it, and
Yeah.
we're working on putting something together professional for the Raza documentary, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
show all the paperwork, so all the snitches, everybody
Mhm.
who is out there still saying they didn't snitch. I'm sorry, player, but the paperwork gonna be right up there.
Yeah. The paperwork don't motherfucking lie shit, you know?
No, no, and
So
that's what it is. So that's another thing for Free Brickabelli. Most of this
mhm.
effort that we're doing is to inspire him and to so he can stay with his mind correct. And I know you got to go through a bunch of shit in there, but we love
Mhm.
you. We still got your back. And everybody who's been coming out has been connecting with me. G7, DJ Cap, the boy Ritzy, Stunner Gang, Sergio Armani,
Mhm.
Rudy Boy. There's so many people that just came out and straight plugged in with me like that and started working because of the movement is not only in here, but it's in there as well.
Mhm. Oh yeah. What unit is he at?
Yeah, shout out to the Connolly unit out there in Kennedy, Texas, and I
Okay.
have all his info in my bio, so that
Mhm.
way people can send the JPays, please.
Yeah. Yeah, Mel, you got to send him a plug magazine. You can plug him in and stuff. What's going on out here?
Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now that he's the one who told me to hit you, so they already
Okay.
got it in there.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I heard that unit is straight policing all the time. So we made it
And
in. So
everybody who tells me is like, bro, that's bad place to be, but what are we gonna do? We can't do
right,
nothing from out here. All we can
right,
do is send support and show them we
yeah,
love them and tell them that no matter what they go through, it's still gonna be cool. So we got their back. Do whatever you got to do,
mhm,
but when the toilets break, you have me calling and calling and calling, like, hey, bro, the toilets are
yeah,
broken. Do something about it. But
right,
that's the only thing we can do is just give them a headache, sign the
yeah.
petitions whenever they come
That's
around.
true. On that note, I want to say fuck the unit because the unit have some crooked ass CEOs in that bitch ass
Fuck
unit. So
them.
I'm just saying free
Let
AK, you
them,
know.
let them
So
all go. Fuck
them
them
all go
all.
home.
Yep.
So what do you find the most challenging about the music industry?
That everybody is out to get you and nobody trusts you and you can't get people to trust you for nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody's really out here to rob people and pimp artists. That back in San Antonio when I was out there, we started. I spearheaded an organization called the Movimiento, and I
Hmm.
united 5 different rap labels. They all had their own family. They all had their own hustle. They all had their own budget. Everybody was independently grinding, doing their own thing, and I united all of them. We cut out the promoters. I went straight to the business owners and I offered
Hmm.
contracts with my own security, my own DJ, my own entertainment for the night. As long as that we took 10% of the bar and we took everything at the door, and it worked. It
Hmm.
was proper, and it would
Yeah.
go. And this week I'm putting half the budget. Everybody else puts 10%, and at the end of the night we split it. I get half, y'all get 10%, and it
Hmm.
worked up until we got to the weakest link, and then there was treachery involved, and
Hmm.
loyalty takes years to prove. When you work
Right.
with somebody for so long, you're gonna come up to the surface that hey, the whole time he just was looking out for himself. So
Right.
like that's the hardest thing to do is to unite the captains that really on the same level that want to push towards us having some kind of platform. Like,
Hmm. Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's all about race, really. They put us in a box. Now you're a
Yeah.
Latino rapper and nobody wants
Hmm.
to listen to what you rap in English. They just want to hear your Spanish. And it's
Right.
like, hey man, like I speak how I speak. If you like the Spanish, you're gonna have to listen to the English while I get there because this is what I do
Yeah.
and how I do it. But
Yeah.
that's the most challenging thing is that the music we have so much competition. It's a $1 billion industry, and
Yeah.
everybody is fighting for pennies. And every
Hmm.
way you go, you end up with the same people that are monopolizing basically all the underground artists, and they don't want
Hmm.
to break no bread. You have to
Right.
pay them to be your friends, and
Hmm.
it's like so many
Right.
fucked up things about the game that I'm finna expose. And
Hmm.
that's why people, when I work with people and you see me don't work with them no more, is because they get intimidated that I'm coming with the real shit. Like
Right.
all my raps are pretty much corridos
Mm-hmm.
in hip hop, you know, like I'm
Yeah.
coming with the real shit and I'm like a sponge. I'm absorbing whatever I need to learn so I can help my gente.
Mm-hmm.
And you got all these snakes just straight up winning, really. Like
Right.
it's fucked up that they're winning and we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to make shit happen and we end up at the bottom. So I
Right.
represent los pobres, you know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm
Yeah,
coming
because
with.
if you think about it, if you think about the music industry and how many land rappers, or you know what I mean, we got really up here, you know what I'm saying, like really out here like top, you know what I'm saying, like you got little baby up here up in the top, you know what I'm saying, but how many Latinos do you actually see on those, you know what I'm saying, on social media, on magazines, you know what I'm saying? You don't, you know what I'm saying? They don't, because they don't I feel like they're kind of like, that's kind
They
of stigmatized.
categorize you. They
Mhm.
categorize you into you're not cholo enough.
Mhm.
You're not paisa enough. You're not Puerto Rican enough.
Right.
So what is there left? I feel like there should be so many subgenres for Latino artists because not everybody's a cholo, not everybody's a Puerto Rican, even though
Right.
we're two different races. I have a
Mhm.
lot of Puerto Rican buddies, and we're not. Our language is different, but in order to be Latino and popular, you
Mhm.
have to have some kind of dance song where everybody just
Mhm.
like, you know what I'm saying? And it's so very few of us, like you said, and I don't see anybody really going turning it around and trying to make a movement like Master P or Cash Money
Mhm.
Records, or that everybody is just focused on their legacy and not really about bringing back to the other rappers, you know, to the other,
Right.
not only rappers, photographers, uh,
Mhm.
videographers,
Right.
artists, visual artists, like,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
It's
that's
crazy.
what we're trying to do with the Plug magazine. Like, we just don't interview artists. We interview like managers for record label companies. Latinos who have their own businesses. They're actually making it. Tattoo artists. Anybody that's really doing their thing out here. Just I did a feature on one of my boys out here in Chicago, who, because we're in Chicago, right? So he was out here in the street, doing his, two-time felon. Now he's making six figures a year doing his thing, you know what I'm saying? So just because you're a felon doesn't mean you can't do anything with your life. Yeah, you might get a lot of short shut and this and that, but doesn't mean life ends right there. So
Yeah.
it's just motivating, the guys that get to go home, because a lot of guys don't get to go home, you know what I'm saying? But the guys that get to come home, you can do something with your life.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you have a favorite quote or saying you live by?
Yes. I just told you, loyalty takes years to prove.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
say that
true.
constantly. I say it constantly because it's true. Like you'll have somebody you know who's basically always winning from being your friend, and then when it's your time to need some help, they just walk away. And that's
Yeah.
when you see the true colores. You see the true colors come out. It's like, man, bro, I've been helping you for X amount of years, and now I need somebody to lean on real quick, and you're right there, and you're like, nah, you know. And it's
Right.
happened to me a lot because I've had buddies that I never knew I was competing with, and then it comes out that they're in competition with me, or like
Yeah.
I mentioned earlier, that they feel threatened by. You're supposed to feel inspired. Like if I'm next to
Right.
you and you're a badass artist, I'm gonna get inspired to be better. I'm not gonna wanna distance myself from you so that way you don't take my shine from me. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. It's
And I
that
think
secret
that's the
animosity, you know what I'm saying? That's the problem. Sometimes you're so around, it's that whole secret animosity, and sometimes your biggest fans is a whole stranger, what I'm saying? A stranger, somebody you don't even know, who's really out there, spreading the word, sharing your shit. It don't cost anything to like or share anything, but sometimes even all your own people don't even do it. So that tells
yeah.
you something right there when you see that shit right away. So what advice would you give a younger version of you, knowing what you know now?
The only advice I would be telling myself is don't get arrested, stop doing dumb stuff.
Yes.
Because we thought that it was meaningful to have all these stripes in the streets for things that I thought were important to
Mm-hmm.
my career. And the only thing that they left were scars and bruised bones that now I'm trying to work. And you know what I mean? My bones
Mm-hmm.
hurt. Um, Everything I did when I was gang related and in the
Mm-hmm.
streets, all of that, I would probably take it all back because it didn't help my career at all.
Mm-hmm.
I could have still been involved in the music and been a nice rapper and talk about friendly stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I could have still been doing every single thing that I'm doing now,
Mm-hmm.
minus my police record, minus
Yeah.
my closed opportunities,
Right.
um, and everything that I basically I didn't allow myself to be a part of.
So, what words to advice do you give these young guys out here in the street?
Damn, them guys don't want to hear shit. Them guys know it all.
Yeah.
I just
True.
tell them, Arnica works best for bruises, and save your money for an attorney and have them on deck
Yeah.
because you
Have
never
speed
know
dial.
when you're going to need representation. And yeah,
You need your attorney on speed dial or know that number by memory, and you need money to bond yourself out because as soon as you get locked up, ain't nobody gonna go try to bond your ass out.
nope.
So, where can people check out your music? Your what are your social platforms so people can follow you and subscribe?
I made it real easy for everybody to find me. You can do one of two things. You can just Google Loke G, Lokeg, and everything comes up. Or you can go straight to my website, www.lokegkbt.com. And I have a link tree there. You can hit up all my platforms from there. You can see my YouTube channel, which I want to thank everybody. I'm up to like almost 2,000 subscribers. And it has my Instagram information, so you can reach out to me if you want to work, collabo, or whatever.
Okay.
And I have my Twitter on there too. For that one, I just use to talk shit. I just talk a lot of shit on you on Twitter.
So, do you want to send any shout outs?
Yes, I got a couple shout outs I want to send to all my knights. Everybody who listens to my music is an official knight of the Brown Table. Everybody out there in Tilden, Mary, in Mexico too. Got Alonso Soto who asked for a shout out. Of course, all my gente, my brothers, my sisters, my jefita, um, all my real homies, and everybody who enjoys my music. I want to send out my special shout out and remember to keep tuned for the documentary. That's my next big project. I'm going to be releasing music this whole time, but I want everybody to stay tuned for the documentary because that one's going to tell everybody what really happened. And if you knew my brother Brick, reach out to me because I want to interview you for the documentary and I want to get your 2 cents too.
Okay. So, thanks for taking the time to do the interview for us, for the Plugg magazine. So stay tuned to that. Right now it's selling nationwide all over throughout the prison systems, so stay tuned to that. Like I said, thanks, AK, and I, want to thank you for taking the time to do the interview with us. So much love to doing your thing. And we're looking forward to the documentary you're talking about, so everybody stay tuned to that. Okay. And
Well,
then,
one last thing I want to remind everybody, my kids, that they always got to love each other. Maruka, I got you. And free AK, let him go already. Y'all
yeah,
bullshitting. Free Bricovelli.
yeah.
And the hashtag Free Bricovelli, you can find all the information that's related to my brother, his information for the JPay, and all of that too. Stay
All
tuned for
right.
future projects.
All right. So everybody, thank you for staying tuning in and checking this interview out with Loke G. And again, everybody, free the bros, free AK. Shout out to No Fold. Everybody stay up, okay? Everybody have a safe night.
Peace.
Peace.